Let's now quickly understand the points mentioned in the agenda. So we'll understand what is MCM or Multiple Customer Management System, and I'll explain this to you in pretty much detail. After that, we'll understand what is SPM, that is predecessor to MCM. Once we understand that, we'll understand what was linked account sections in MCM. And because I see a lot of publishers that are coming to me that they ask me they need to enable linked account section, and I'll tell you what is linked account section. Also, I'll let you know how do you serve AdSense ads via GAM in SPM versus MCM. Right now you're a publisher that has migrated from AdSense to GAM, and you need to serve your AdSense ads. So I'll let you know which is the way you should do that. After that, I'll be covering in the MCM delegation types. Now inside MCM delegation types, we'll be covering in the managed inventory and managed account. So I'll be letting you know what is managed inventory and what is managed account, and I'll be letting you know which is better suited for you. So whether you should go in with MA or you should go in with MI. I see a lot of video tutorials wherein it's a lot of biased information is being shared on MA versus MI, and there are like people trying to sell MA versus MI. So I'll help you understand that impartially. So we'll share you all the information that you need to make the right decision. After that, I'll be covering you the revenue shares. So what are the typical revenue shares that you get when you get into an agreement with an MCM parent publisher. Now, one of the most important things that I'll cover is the MCM agreement. So MCM agreement is a boring document that you sign in that when you get into your relationship with the parent partner, but I'll cover that agreement and most important points in the agreement that you should be aware of while getting into an MCM relationship with your parent publisher. Now we'll come to your implementation of your MCM managed inventory account, wherein I'll be covering in the setup of your ad units, your ad code, your setting up your ad exchange line item, your pricing rules and optimization, your ads.txt, and your reporting. So I'll be covering all of this and what do you need to do in order to set up your MCM managed inventory account. So yeah, after that I'll be covering in MCM managed account. In MCM managed account, again we'll be covering in all the things that we understood in the MCM MI account. So we'll be covering in your ad units, your ad code, your orders, and ads.txt and reporting. So we'll be going through each and every step that you need to set up your MA account in here. Now, like you have your MA or MI account, but now you need to get your own ad exchange account. So I see a lot of publishers coming to me wherein they need to get your own ad exchange account. So I'll help you understand the process to get an ad exchange account of your own. And obviously I'm not promising anyone an ad exchange account. I'm telling you the right ethical way to get your own ad exchange account. After that, I'll be covering in one advantage of MA and MI that you have over your own ad exchange account. So when people are talking about Google Ad Exchange and everybody wants Google Ad Exchange of their own, there are certain advantages of MA and MI over your own ad exchange account. So I'll be covering that and helping you decide which of these options is right for you. So all in all, it will be a very detailed video tutorial. I'll be covering in all the points in this agenda, and I'll split this video into multiple videos as well. So there'll be a main video wherein I'll be covering all these points. In addition, I'll split this video into multiple sections as it's quite detailed, so that anyone referring to only a specific topic can actually go ahead and search that particular video. With that said, let's jump into the video, guys. Now let's understand what is MCM or multiple customer management. So with MCM, what you're literally doing is you're allowing access to your account or inventory to a third party and you're giving them all access to monetize on your behalf. Now, why is this necessary? So one of the most common reasons for you to get an MCM is having your ad exchange account. So by default, Google doesn't provide ad exchange account to all the publishers. So Google ad exchange account is invite based, and that is only available to 1 to 2% of the publishers. Now, how do other publishers, get their ad exchange account? So they get it via MCM. So via MCM, you can get your own ad exchange account via a third party publisher. Now you get into an agreement with them and they agree to provide you ad exchange account. Along with the ad exchange account, you're giving them rights to manage your account or inventory, and you're giving them monetization rights to basically make more money for you. SPM, also known as Scaled Partner Management. So this was a way wherein earlier small publisher used to get a Google ad exchange account, guys. So to understand SPM, you must be aware of the GAM history. So let's take a little bit recap and understand the GAM history. So what I mean by the GAM history, not going entirely there, but just briefly explaining to you the time wherein there were two separate products. So one was DFP and another was ad exchange. So DFP was a double-click product that Google acquired, and this was a product that Google saw a lot of potential in. And Google Ad Exchange was a Google's own product that it actually created. So DFP was an ad server acquired by Google, and Google Ad Exchange was a programmatic ad ecosystem that was built by Google. And earlier, when Google Ad Exchange was created to provide Google Ad Exchange to publishers, SPM was created. So now GAM came into picture, and some features of DFP and some features of Google Ad Exchange were combined into a single platform. So SPM was a feature of Google Ad Exchange that was bought into GAM. Now, once this happened, this had a certain limitation in terms of when it meant about reselling Google Ad Exchange features via SPM. Now, as SPM was a part of Ad Exchange and not GAM, any new feature that got released in GAM took time to be implemented via SPM. So Google, for instance, launched open bidding, and if it was the time of the SPM, it used to take time to roll out new features via SPM to the child publishers via SPM. So this was one major drawback for SPM. Now another issue with SPM was that it was being abused by child publishers or like parent publishers, and it was like, because it was quite easy to provide them access to a Google Ad Exchange account via SPM. So there was no transparent, there was not a robust way wherein each of the publisher sites was being vetted carefully before with SPM. So Google realized these two major flaws. One was the ability to provide new features, other was concerning the quality of the publishers. So Google then decided to create MCM, and it's a more robust and reliable way wherein you can resell both Ad Exchange and certain GAM features to the child publishers. Now guys, let me explain to you the linked account sections available in GAM. So it's important for you to understand this section, because I see a lot of publishers coming to me and asking me that this section is not enabled. How do I enable it? So right now there isn't a need to enable this section, and you can serve your Adsense or even Ad Exchange ads without this section. So guys, let me explain to you. Now, as Google Ad Exchange and DFP earlier were separate products that I just explained in the SPM section, there was a need to link your Google Ad Exchange to DFP. So there was a linked account sections created wherein you can link your Ad Exchange account to DFP. However, right now it has been unified into a single product, and with the MCM also coming into the picture, you get an ad exchange with MCM. So via SPM there was a need to link accounts, so linked account sections. With MCM you are able to get your ad exchange account right now, so you don't need a linked account sections for that. Now, however, like Google AdSense is still a different product, right? So do you need to linked account sections basically to serve your AdSense ads via GAM? No. Let me tell you why. Now, earlier, Google Ad Exchange, DFP were separate products. Right now, they were, they are mapped into a single product that's called GAM. Now, AdSense as well, right now this is GAM and this is your AdSense. Like these were again two different products, and they still are. However, earlier your AdSense account was linked to GAM. There was a need to link to GAM, but with the creation of GAM, now every AdSense account is internally mapped to a GAM account. So there isn't a need for you to externally link AdSense to serve AdSense ads via GAM. You can simply enable ad unit level backfill at your ad unit, and I'll just share a screenshot for you guys in here, and you should be able to serve your AdSense ads via dynamic allocation. Now, one of the most important things is people still sometimes I see some publishers serving AdSense via GAM if they don't have a linked account sections via price priority line item. Guys, you should not do that. If you do that, what simply happens is your earnings don't show under programmatic bucket, so they'll show under non-programmatic bucket, and the earnings that show in your programmatic earnings are your actual earnings that get paid to you. Your non-programmatic paid to you by Google, and your non-programmatic earnings you manage them directly. Now, if you enter a CPM of $5 in your price priority line items for AdSense, don't expect AdSense to pay you that. So that is one of the main reasons you shouldn't schedule AdSense via price priority, because your revenues don't get accurately recorded in your GAM, and it leads to a lot of confusion. Basically, people think that there are non-programmatic earnings and how do I get it added into a GAM. So those non-programmatic earning guys aren't your actual earnings. Now, coming to the second point, why you shouldn't serve AdSense via price priority. Now, if you serve AdSense via price priority, this doesn't serve via dynamic allocation, or very simply, with dynamic allocation, ads only serve when like AdSense or Ad Exchange has an eligible ad and otherwise control gets returned to DFP. But when you traffic them as price priority, control goes to AdSense, and even if the AdSense fails to recover the ad or return the ad, the control doesn't return back to DFP. And your other line items, for instance, you had 3 ad networks other configured in addition to your AdSense. So those 3 other line items don't get a chance, because your DFP or your ad manager doesn't know that price priority line item has returned an ad or not, because you have scheduled it as a price priority. So it's only serving your ad units code on the page. It doesn't know whether an ad is being served in it or not. So guys, this is the 2 reasons why you should avoid serving your AdSense via price priority line item. Simply enable AdSense via the ad unit level backfill option enable and serve it without any issues. Now we'll be understanding how do we actually delegate inventory in MCM. So there are 2 delegation types, that's your managed inventory and managed account. So I'll help you understand what is managed inventory. Now with managed inventory, what you're literally doing is you're giving your parent publisher access to monetize your inventory on your behalf. So what do we mean by that? So I'll just explain to you the setup, and you'll come to know what managed inventory is. So as its name applies, what you do is you allow parent publishers to manage your inventory. So what do we mean by that? So we mean that you implement the ad units code in your site of parent publisher. Now parent publisher in their GAM account has access to all your inventory, and they'll plug in their ad exchange in their parent publisher account. Now with managed account, the setup is different. With managed account, what really happens is the ad exchange account, the parent publisher gives you access to their ad exchange account in your GAM. So inside the linked account section or inside the MCM parent section, the parent publisher's ad exchange account gets linked to your account. In managed account, you have the control and also your parent publisher. So that is a key difference. In managed account, you have the control to your ad exchange account. However, in managed inventory, your parent publisher has the major control. Now coming to the most important question, which of these choices is better for you? So whether you should go in for MA or MI. So recently, when I was just trying to research about this YouTube video, I just came across certain videos wherein they were advocating MI over MA, and similarly there were some YouTubers that were promoting like MA versus MI. So I want to give you an unbiased opinion on that, and let's break it down on three simple things. So we'll break it down on control. So in terms of control, you have more control with managed account. So in managed account, you have access to ad exchange and you are able to control things on your own, versus in MI, your parent publisher actually has the control. Now, personally, if I have an ad operations resource who is pretty good with the optimization, I'll go in with managed account. But if I do not have an ad operations resource or a vendor that can help me with ad operations optimization, I'll go in with managed inventory, because I would like to utilize the tech of the parent publisher to make me as much money as possible. Now coming to the second point of access. Again, with managed account, you have the access as well as the parent publisher. With managed inventory, the access is mainly with the parent publisher. So you implement the ad code and from the parent publisher, and you are giving control to the parent publisher. So you do not have much control with MI. Now coming to transparency. Now this again is like little bit favoring towards MA. Let me tell you why. Now with MA, you're able to see your reporting inside your GAM account, but with MI, you do not have access to see the reporting within your GAM account. So you rely on your parent publisher's reporting. So if your parent publisher's reporting is like transparent to you and it's making more money for you, so you can go in with MI. But basically think on this perspective, I would say if you do not have ad operations expertise, go in with MI. If you want control and you want to do everything on your own, you go in with MA. Now in terms of making more money, MI could make you more money than MA if you are working with the right partner and they are like technically sufficient, and they can do a lot more in tech because they have people who have invested a lot in tech and they keep on doing things to make more money for you. So it's basically a choice, and I would say please try the one that works better with you. So MI experience from a particular like parent publisher should not be considered a general opinion about MI for overall all the MCM parent publishers. Now with MI, one of the most important concerns is reporting that I've already talked about earlier. Now, how do publishers solve that problem? They'll actually create a reporting dashboard for you. So, recently one of my MCM publishers, that's also one of my clients, they reached out to me and they wanted to create a dashboard for their publishers. As they are an MI account, all the reporting used to come in their account. So what did we do for them? We helped them in actually building up a dashboard, and we fetched the data from the APIs and created a simple dashboard for them that allowed every publisher of theirs to log into their account and get transparent reports. Now this is something we do as well. One of the most important thing when it comes to your agreement with your parent partner is your revenue share. So revenue share typically ranges between 10 to 20%, but that depends on mainly on a lot of factors. One of the major factors is the amount of money you are making. So if you're making more money, you'll be able to get better revenue share deals, but kindly remember that it should no way exceed beyond like 20%. So typical ranges are from like 15 to 20%, but in some cases if you're making a lot of money, it can go even lower. Now let's quickly go over the agreement that you sign in once you are a child publisher with either managed inventory or account. It's the same agreement, and it's very important for you to understand the terms. So I'll share the link of the agreement, and it's also available to you when you are actually signing in the accepting the invite from the parent publisher. Now I will brief you the three most important things that are mentioned in the agreement, and you should know for sure. Now at first, you have a contractual agreement with your parent publisher, not by Google, and you are authorizing them to either manage inventory or manage your account. And even though like these guys are managing your account or inventory, you solely are responsible for your account basically. So basically Google is telling you, even though in terms of legal terms, Google is just trying to be safe, and they are telling you that find a partner that you trust basically, because Google is not obligated for anything or anything that they do. So Google is safe on those parts. Now second thing, Google is clearly clarifying that any of the services and acts provided by the parent are not by Google. So if your parent publisher actually commits to you a certain increase in revenue share, or like they commit to you certain commitments, they're made to you by the parent publisher and not by Google. So it's very important for you to know that, and you cannot hold like Google liable for any of the things. Now coming to the third important part is concerning your earnings. So with managed inventory, you should be clearly aware that the entire payment is remitted to the parent, and they remit the remaining payment after deducting their revenue share to your bank accounts. So with MI, you should be aware that Google is even paying your revenue share to them. Now with managed account, you agree on to a revenue share with the parent publisher, and you have option wherein parent publisher configures the revenue share in their account. Your earnings go into your account, and the parent publisher actually gets their earning in their account. But having said that, I've seen some big resellers, I don't want to quote anybody's names, that they're actually taking the money even if 100% for MA accounts as well. So they are actually using your money, and I don't want to comment on their names, but you should have an option to get paid by Google directly if you are having an managed account. So you should be aware of that. That is something that has been mentioned in your terms. And but if you're agreeing onto something, as Google is telling you, it's a relationship between the parent publisher and you. So this particular thing is not entirely right, but some parent publishers are doing that. So they keep the money in their account and they remit it to you. Now we'll get started with your ad exchange managed inventory. So first and foremost, it's your eligibility. So if you're trying to get your MI account, so what is eligibility? So this varies from reseller to reseller, but I'm telling you what applies if you come and work with us. So we'll need minimum of 50k page views. There'll not be any arbitrage traffic, and we'll need good quality content. So this is an eligibility requirement for MI account, and for any partner you work with, you'll have to ensure these. So they may give you a MI account with lesser page views, but we follow 50k page views. And on arbitrage traffic, we are quite strict in terms of if any reseller is actually giving publishers ad exchange MI account and there's a lot of arbitrage traffic involved, so there's a high possibility of bot traffic coming in. So we prefer that your major source of your traffic is search. Now let's jump into the slides and let's see what is next. Now you have your ad exchange MI account via a reseller, and then we proceed to the setup. Now what typically your parent publisher will do is they'll have one too many child publishers in their account, and from there they'll add in a child site. And what they'll ask you to complete the retagging of your website. From their end, they're simply following these steps for now. Now coming to child publishers. Now you have accepted an invitation from your parent, and first and foremost, what you have to ensure is that you provide them the correct email address. Otherwise, what it might happen is, there might be instances of duplicate account. So if for instance you are using this site earlier with another email address, you have already have an ad manager account, and then you're trying to apply again an ad manager account for the same site, you'll get a duplicate account error. Kindly remember that you can only have one ad exchange / ad manager account per site, so you cannot have multiple. Now if you have an existing AdSense AdMob or ad manager account, what you can simply do is you can simply accept the invitation, and there'll not be any issues. Only thing you need to ensure is you are the administrator of that account. Now I'd recommend that you only do this with admins of the account. In case you're not the admin, and you're trying with another user email, then ensure that that particular email has admin privileges. Now proceeding along. Now you receive an invitation on an email that is not currently associated with your for instance AdSense or GAM account. So what do? If you have an ad manager account, you ensure that the user receives the invite and has administrator privileges. So simply what you have to do is, if you have to simply ensure that that particular user is an ad manager user as well. So if that email that is not existing in your ad manager account, kindly add it to your GAM account. Now if you have an existing AdSense or AdMob account but not an ad manager account, your parent must send the invitation to the email address again for the admin user. Even for AdSense account, it is mandatory for them to send the invitation of only admin users. Now once we are done with this, if you have an ad manager account, it's pretty straightforward. You can go ahead and start accepting the parent publishers agreement. Now if you do not have an ad manager account, the next step would be to create an ad manager account via the MCM invite. Now the default way is to get your ad manager account not via the MCM invite. Initially the workflow is like, firstly you get your Adsense account, and with your Adsense account you're already eligible for your GAM account. So if you have just Adsense, and you can simply set up your GAM account. Now I'll recommend that you go via Adsense path, because your GAM account you should be able to monetize both via Adsense and ad exchange. So you shouldn't rely only on ad exchange just at the stage you are getting started. Now if you have received an MCM invite from MCM parent publisher, you still will be eligible to create an ad manager account. Now you can access the account creation tool via the link. Sign up for that email sent from the publisher, parent publisher. Now you must have a Google account associated with that email. That's a pure prerequisite. Now after that, you can accept the invitation for the inventory management, sign into the ad manager, select your billing country, choose your communication preferences, read and accept the ad manager terms and condition, read and accept the parent publisher's terms and conditions, and set up the account. Now you have to go in and set up your ad manager account. You have to at last input your customer information. So you have to start with inputting your personal details, followed by the network settings, and lastly you have to verify the phone number. Now recently I've seen a lot of instances wherein people's phone numbers are not getting verified, simply because that phone number existed earlier with another Adsense account and you're trying to reuse it. So kindly ensure that to ensure that your account creation process is simple, just start simply with an email and phone number that is fresh. And I would recommend that that should not have been used earlier with any Google Adsense or GAM services. So it will make your life much easier. And one important thing I would like to stress in here is ensure that you're creating a new Chrome profile. So I do not want you to log in with a Chrome profile that has multiple emails. Log in with a Chrome profile that has a single email in which you are the admin, and then your process would be quite straightforward. So I see a lot of people get stuck in the loop because they're just trying to reuse email addresses and just trying to reuse the phone numbers that have been already used. So they get into these sort of complications. Now we are assuming that your GAM account is set up. So you have your GAM account set up. So how do you proceed further? So once your GAM account is set up, and let me quickly show you how will an MI entry look like. So there'll be a tab that will be called as MCM, and you'll see an entry from your parent publisher in here with delegation type managed inventory. So this is somewhere once your GAM is created, once you go into admin MCM, you'll be able to see the network in here. Now going back to our slides, with the MI account setup as well, you have to perform the setups of setting up your ad units, ad code, your ad exchange orders, and pricing rule optimization is taken care of by the parent. But I still have listed this because I wanted to show you what you need to do, but these are managed by your parent. Now your ads.txt is managed by you, so your parent will give you your ads.txt file, and reporting similarly is taken care by the parent. So your parent will send you reports, or they'll send you access to a dashboard wherein you can see the reports. Now going ahead, with regards to your ad units and ad code implementation, so kindly remember that your ad units are created by your parent publisher in their GAM account, and they will share you the ad code. And ad code, as you must be aware, contains two sections. One is your head section, and one thing to notice, I've highlighted this in yellow for you. There are two network IDs you're seeing. If it is only your GAM account, you'll see a single network ID code. So what these two network IDs imply: one is your parent publisher's GAM ID, another is your network ID. So once you receive the ad code, it would look something like this. Now this is your head and body code. So now let me do an exercise wherein I will show you how to implement this inside your site. So I'll guide you through the process. I'll show you the ad code implementation via local. So I've created a local WordPress website using local. That is a solution to actually host local websites. And let's navigate to the WordPress admin. Now we are inside the WordPress admin. We have to navigate towards appearances, and plugins, and check for the plugins. So we'll be using Ad Inserter. Right now this plugin is already enabled. If not enabled, you can simply go in here, add a new plugin, search for Ad Inserter, and install it. So as it's already installed for my particular instance, I'm not installing it again. Now again, going to installed plugins, I'll simply navigate towards the settings. Now here there is some code already in here, so I'm just deleting this code, clicking on save, and and we have two sections of code basically. So first is the header code. So this header code will go inside the header section. So here again there's a code already implemented, but I'll provide in the code in here. So this head I'm not providing in here, that is for the website. So you simply have to copy paste the script tag that you get. Now we have copy pasted the script tag. This should contain, always remember, define slot functions. So define slot functions, and also most importantly, take note of this div ID. Now simply go ahead and click on save. If I see it on the site, I'll not see anything, obviously. Okay, now we go into the body code, and I copy paste it from here. Again I go back to my WordPress, and I'm finding in, so in header you can provide the header code, and in here there are ad blocks. So you can provide in your body code inside these ad blocks. So your body code is actually containing the ads, and in the defined slot in the header you're defining the slots. Here this particular section is used to display the ads on your website. Now here the insertion or the location where you want to insert certainly matters. So for this ad unit I want to insert this, for instance, before the post, and so I have selected before post. Now I'm going ahead and clicking on save settings. Okay, now we go ahead and go to our website. We don't see anything yet. Now why don't you see an ad in here? You don't see an ad in here because we're using the code from the Help Center article. So this is the code from the Help Center article, and this is the test code, and it's unlikely to return the ad. Even if we went into a scenario wherein this was the original case, and your parent publisher did share you this code, it will take some time for your site to get approved. It might take anywhere between 3 to 4 days and up to 7 days as well for your site to get approved and start showing the ads. Now the next thing we have to do is implement your ads.txt. Without this, again, your ads will not show. your parent publisher will send you an ads.txt file which you have to implement inside your site. So I'll show you how to do this with ad inserter, but there are like other options as well available. With ad inserter, pretty easy. You navigate towards ads.txt. In here this turns blue. You click on the edit and you enter an entry in here. So this is already mentioned in here, edited in here, because I was already testing it out, so I had already inputted it. But now we can simply click on save. Now that is how much easy it is to implement your ads.txt via ad inserter. Now going back to our slide to check what all things are pending. Coming to the ad exchange orders and optimization, including the pricing rule setup. Now this is controlled by your parent publisher. With MI account, remember guys, you don't have to worry about this. That is one advantage of using an MI account. You can rely on the tech that your parent publisher provides, and you don't need any expertise for managing the optimization and management of your ad exchange. That is done by your parent publisher. And so once they have once you implement your ads.txt entry, they will go ahead and create the relevant pricing rules and the ad exchange orders for you. Now reporting is one of the most important things when it comes to the MI account in particular. So your parent publisher should be able to provide you with reports whenever you need them. If your parent publisher has a dashboard, it makes both yours and your parent publisher's job much easier. Now with MI account, the reporting is not available in your GAM account because we are using the reporting data from the parent's account. So we are using the entire parent account for your setup. So obviously the reporting also is in their GAM account. If your parent publisher doesn't have a reporting dashboard, they should be able to share reports to you whenever you need them. However, majorly all the parent publishers will come up with reporting dashboards for you. This was a requirement that came in from one of our clients, that is an MCM partner. So they needed a reporting dashboard to be built for all of their child publishers, and we have helped them build a dashboard. Going ahead with your payments. Payments again guys with MI account are managed by your parent account. So ensure that you are working with a partner you trust, because they will be liable to make you payments, not Google. We did go over your agreements in the initial part of the video wherein I talked about the agreements for the MI account, and Google clearly tells that they are not liable for any payment related issues / discrepancies. So kindly work with a partner that you trust. Now ending the agreement. Now either you or the parent publisher can end the agreement, the MCM agreement, at any time, and I'll just quickly show you where you can go to end the agreement. So you have to navigate towards your GAM account, admin, MCM, click on the parent publishers, and you can end the agreement from here. So I'll not click on it obviously because it will end the agreement. That is not what we are trying to do, but that is how easy it is for you to end the agreement. And if you're encountering any issues, you're suspicious of your parent publisher, please end their agreement right away. Let's get started with your ad exchange managed account right now. With managed account, as I've already mentioned to you earlier, you retain the control as well as your parent publisher. So your parent publisher is there to guide you along with your ad exchange managed account journey, but you also have the control wherein you can make changes to your account. Now let's get started with knowing the eligibility. So with ad exchange managed account, if you want to work with us, we have an eligibility of 5k USD a month of AdSense revenue, and we don't need any arbitrage traffic, and we prefer you having good quality content. So let me tell you guys why we place such restrictions, or all the resellers have such restrictions. Our goal is to maintain healthy publishers count. So the amount of good publishers we have also affects our status with Google. So if we have a lot of publishers who have, a lot of arbitrary traffic, sooner or later there's a possibility that they get disapproved by Google for policy violation, and this also is not ideal for us. So we maintain a healthy count of publishers. Now, if you're a child publisher for MA account, and you have a GAM account, you will get a notification and you'll be able to sign up for your AdExchange managed account. So once an invitation for a parent from the parent publisher is accepted, child publishers are automatically enrolled and enabled in the account management. Although you'll be working directly with your parent publisher, you'll need an ad manager account to uniquely identify your inventory. So always remember, you still need an ad manager account, and if you do not have an ad manager account, you can actually go ahead and create an ad manager account. It's similar to what we did in the managed inventory. However, if you have one already created, you can simply go ahead and jump to the section wherein we are talking about enabling AdExchange directly. Now, this is the procedure that I've already talked in the section for the MCM for the managed inventory. So I'm not going to go over the lot of details in here. You can refer to that section, but briefly telling you, you should be able to create an ad manager account if you have an MCM invite, even for the MA account. Then after you receive the account, you sign in into the ad manager, provide in all the relevant details, accept the ad manager terms, parent publisher terms, and set up your account. Now you have to also enter in your information, and once you're done, you should have an ad manager account created for you. Now you have an ad manager account created. What are the next steps? Now with managed account, guys, always remember the ad units and ad code are controlled by you. So you will be creating the ad units and ad code. AdExchange order and pricing rule optimization you can take care of your own, and your parent partner will assist you as well. And ads.txt similarly you will have to implement on your own. That is the same case for MA and MI. And reporting in here, you'll be able to capture or get reports from your own AdExchange account. That's the beauty of having an MA account over MI account. Now, ad units and ad code implementation. Now, if you're not aware of how do you create an ad unit, it's a fairly simple process, and let me quickly show you the process to create an ad unit. You can simply go into inventory, ad units, new ad units, provide a name, code, description, size, and that's it, guys. Also kindly ensure that right now you're not checking this maximize revenue of unsold inventory with Adsense, because we do not want Adsense and AdExchange to compete on the same inventory. So why don't we want to do that? If we do that, Google will simply pick up either Adsense or AdExchange. There's no dynamic allocation that happens between Adsense or AdExchange. As we are willing to set up only AdExchange right now, we want to set up AdExchange for this ad unit. Now, right now, there are some publishers for whom Adsense might outperform AdExchange. If you have, if you're specifically into particular niche and you have gotten certain amount of clicks. So what I'll recommend is you perform an A and B test it out. Like, you can activate one ad unit for Adsense, another ad unit for AdExchange, but ensure that you're splitting the traffic equally, and it should be an ad unit with similar viewability. If you don't do that, you'll get very different results, because if your viewability of the ads is high, your revenue would be more. Now simply click on save. I'm not saving it because I have not entered all the details, because I have an ad unit already created. Now you have the ad unit already created. You can simply go ahead and generate the code for this ad unit. So generating the code, you have to go into tag section. You have to select Google Publisher tag, as we are talking right now about display. Continue, again continue. you'll get 2 tags. Now right now we didn't specify the height and width, but if you specify the height and width, you'll get the ad init of that exact size. So here I haven't done that because it is for another publisher's live account and I do not want to change it, but you can provide a size and you'll get the ad init for that particular height and width. So you have your ad code in here that is ready to get implemented. One quick thing to show to you before we actually jump into implementing this ad code like we did in the MI, but right now we'll show you a different way. But before that, let me show you how does your interaction with the MA account looks like. So you must have received invite and you'll see it listed under managed account, guys. So this is the place where you verify whether it's a managed account or managed inventory account. Now let's go ahead and implement this ad code. This is an ad code I've generated for a particular publisher, and right now I'll show you a way wherein I'll implement this ad code directly via Visual Studio Code. So if you're a developer and you want to implement code directly, so I will be using header.php file and I'll implement the code directly. Let me now open in my Visual Studio Code, and I'm opening the folder wherein my local site is being created. If you are using like local, your site would be located under your username local, and this is our site. So I'm going further into your app public, this folder, because I want to see in the the header.php file basically. So let me see in the header.php file now. Okay, so right now we are inside the WP content folder and we see a lot of files in here, and I see in here header.php file. Now this actually contains code already. I was testing it out, so let's quickly delete this code, and let's quickly delete this code as well, as we want to start from fresh. Now we see a head section in here and we see a body section in here. So this is not ideal way of implementation because developers use their own way. Just I want to mention to you a way wherein you can implement the files inside the head and body section. Now let's go back and fetch the header code. I'll provide it in this section in the header. Now let's go ahead and fetch the body code, and I'll provide it inside the body section. Now this, if you are not familiar with WordPress, mostly if you are a bigger publisher, you must have a web developer, and this is just for you to know that in a very minimal way how will your ads be implemented. Just take this as an awareness thing, not as the actual implementation thing, because if you have a big site, obviously your developer will maintain the code. Now that's it, guys. This is implemented. Let's now quickly view the site. Okay, now we are seeing an ad in here. Why we are seeing in an ad? Because we have implemented an ad code for one of my publishers, so I just wanted to show you how it happens. So I showed you an actual ad code that works. And how do we verify? First verification is the ad is displaying, and another thing is like we can verify via Google FC. So we'll get to know the line item and creative details as well, and the ad slot details as well. So this is a very handy tool that I use in while troubleshooting. Now with this, guys, we have actually successfully implemented the ad code, so we can celebrate a little. And now let's get back to our slides and complete the remaining sections. Coming to the implementation for ads.txt, this is quite similar to what we did the last time, so I'm not showing you another way. There are several ways, but you can simply implement your ads.txt by navigating to the admin in here. We already have ads.txt plugins in ad inserter, wherein we will use their ads.txt, and there are several other ways and several other like plugins available to implement. I'm just showing you this so it's easier. So we have already an entry implemented from the MI account setup that we did, but we can simply click on submit in here. So yeah, we are done with the implementation of ads.txt as well. Now the next step for us is to create ad exchange orders and go over the pricing rules optimization. So let me show you the process of creating an ad exchange order. Now we can simply go ahead and click on orders, click on new order. I'll just create an ad exchange. You can usually follow a naming convention, but just for this video I am simply using a very simple naming convention. Advertiser, this is again this will not be of much use, but I'm just creating an ad exchange advertiser. So in ad exchange, the advertiser, why I told that this will not be of much use, because the actual advertiser for any of the programmatic ads is quite different, because your advertiser is getting decided in the runtime. And that's it guys. Just go ahead and create a line item and go ahead and select display. We're not creating in a video. Provided a line item name, ad exchange, I'm naming it display. The line item type in here would be ad exchange. Now as your ad exchange is linked, you'll see an ad exchange line item type in here. In expected creatives, I'm just selecting all the requested sizes. I'm selecting start time to start immediately and end time to be unlimited. Now inventory in here is selected to mobile app, so I can select unselect that, but right now this is primarily for a mobile and app publisher. So let's quickly edit this to be mobile app. So your ad exchange account guys is different for app, display and video, so kindly remember that. And yes, now I'll go ahead and save this. Okay, now we'll go to creatives. We'll click on automatically generate creatives, and I'm not doing this process right now guys, because this is again a publisher's account, so I don't want to do anything in that. I just wanted to show in the process to you, so I have just done that. This is just for the tutorial purposes. Now you'll have to ensure that your line item is in ready status. So once you add the creatives, approve the order and your line item will come in ready status, and then it will be eligible to start delivering ad exchange for you. Now coming to the pricing rules setup. Now pricing rule setups is something that publishers usually who are just getting started don't do that and don't consider it as important, but this is something that is very important, and I'll recommend you that you set up your pricing rules setup correctly. Now I already have a YouTube video tutorial, so let's quickly let me show you in my channel where are these. So these are the last two videos wherein I have actually shown you guys how to implement pricing rules in very much detail. So there are two videos, and first I'm talking about the strategical part, and the next video I'm talking about the implementation part. So you guys can follow this video tutorial and you should be all good with the pricing rules. Again guys, I'll stress on the importance of pricing rules. If done right, it can lead to a revenue uplift anywhere between 10 to like 50%. So setting up pricing rules and setting it up correctly is very important to you. You will not realize its importance at the initial stages, but it is very important. Now one thing I just wanted to quickly show you guys, just not trying to show off something, but just trying to let you know that I've worked on my YouTube's SEO, and something that I found it out recently, that I am coming up in search results whenever you're typing in Google Ad Exchange tutorials. So this is something a good thing for me. So this gives me a validation. So if you are actually If you search for Google Ad Exchange tutorials, you'll be able to find us and our channel, and you'll be able to see all the tutorial videos. Now jumping to the reporting. Now this is the beauty of having an Ad Exchange MI account. You'll be able to get your reports inside your CAM UI. So you can simply navigate to reporting, reports, new report, and you can select in a time period, and for instance I'm just selecting date because I'm just trying to see the daily revenue that I'm making from Ad Exchange, and also its CPM, and that's how easy it is. You can go ahead and run a report. This will give you the data, and yeah, this is telling the revenue for this particular publisher, and you can see it's quite a decent publisher. With reporting, I would also create a detailed video tutorial wherein I go over and explain to you all these available metrics and dimensions. It was a request from one of my YouTube channel subscribers, so I wanted to ensure. But however, right now I'm just creating a very minimal reporting. How do you pull up your Ad Exchange earnings? This is how easy it is, and you'll be able to get started with reporting. And I'll recommend that you monitor your earnings regularly. And one more thing to highlight is, if you are going to the home tab of your account, in here, if you go in view in reporting, you'll be also be able to get your Ad Exchange revenue numbers. Now I wanted to highlight, if your parent publisher has open bidding enabled for you, your revenue for total revenue would be higher than your Ad Exchange revenue. So this is again an important point, so I wanted to show you. For this particular publisher, open bidding isn't enabled and they haven't earned anything from open bidding, so there isn't a difference. However, Ad Exchange revenue is your Ad Exchange revenue directly, and Google also has open bidding, so your total CPM CPC revenue will show in your Ad Exchange revenue plus your header bidding revenue. Now coming to the payments part, guys. With Ad Exchange ME account, you have an option wherein the reseller can configure your account wherein your revenue share comes to you and your parent's revenue share goes to them. But some parent publishers don't do that. However, what I'll recommend is you reach out to them and tell them that I would want my payment to be credited into my payments profile. So this is something I will recommend, because if you use this, you'll definitively save on the transfer/bank fees, because initially obviously the amount is getting credited to your partner first, then they remit the payment to you. Also you'll be getting your payment faster, because you'll save in time. So yeah, I would recommend that you reach out to your parent publisher and sort this out. Lastly, coming to the ending of agreement, you or the parent publisher can end your Ad Exchange MI agreement at any time. And to do that, again you have to go in towards your MCM account, choose the reseller, and simply click on end agreement. And that is how simple it is, and your revenue would be directly stopped from the parent publisher, and your agreement would come to an end. And if you are having any discrepancy or any issues and you don't need to continue, you can simply end the agreement. Now when you are coming into an agreement, you must have signed a separate agreement with the reseller wherein they will provide you a notice period, so you might have to give in to that. So please check what is your notice period with your parent publisher before you're ending the agreement. So with that said, I conclude the video for the managed account inventory setup, and yeah, thank you for watching. Now when it comes to getting your own Google Ad Exchange account, guys, there are two ways. Either a Google account manager reaches out to you or like you personally know an account manager and you reach out to them. So it works in either of these two ways. And if you are in a tier 1 country and you're making anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000, so Google might reach out to you. But I am using the keyword might, I'm not using the word will, because again it depends upon the Google strategy and the amount of publishers they want internally to have their own Google Ad Exchange account. So they're just trying to control the number of own Google Ad Exchange account versus the account of reseller. So if you are making anywhere more than like 10 to 20 thousand USD, you are still eligible to get your own Google Ad Exchange account. But yeah, it is still a tricky thing. If Google Account Manager reaches out to you, it's fairly simple. Otherwise, it might take you some time and you have to pull in some connections, and basically you have to get in the word to your account manager of your particular region, guys. So it's important that if you're located in India, you should be aware of a Google Account Manager from the publisher success team that is actually providing ad exchanges account. So you should unofficially via LinkedIn or that route reach out to them. I know that's pretty difficult, but these are the two ways and I wanted to mention them to you. Now let me highlight to you an advantage of managed accounts, both inventory and both managed account over your own Google Ad Exchange account. So firstly, guys, it is the support. Now even if Google will give you an ad exchange account and you are a small publisher and you have been unofficially be able to get your own Google Ad Exchange account and you range between 10 to 20,000 or 30,000, even like 40-50,000 USD, you might not have Google Ad Exchange support available to you. So this is only available like Google Publisher support for bigger publishers, and if you are going via the MCM route, you will be able to get support. And another thing is you will be able to utilize the tool and tech of your parent publishers to make you more money, obviously. So you can use their capabilities to make you more money. And yeah, so each of these things has their own pros and cons, and it's like very much possible to make more money via either of these three approaches. So you might make more money having your own Google Ad Exchange account if you have a decent ad operations team. Otherwise, if you don't, you can go in with managed account or inventory. Initially start with managed inventory, but as you grow, please switch to managed account.